there, it's me, Veronica Drake, and this is a very special recorded video edition of Conversations with Source Soul Whisperers. Now, full disclosure, I have notebooks full of these transmissions, and this is what it looks like if I were to put it out in print. And my handwriting is really not that good. So what I thought I would do, instead of me transcribing this, I thought I would read this transmission to you. And that way it can be played video if that's your thing, or you can just listen to the audio of it, or if you want to put it into a document and transcribe it, that's cool too. So these Conversations with Source started kind of randomly, but maybe not so randomly when I look back. I was sitting sipping my coffee, as I do every morning, and I began to hear this conversation that was happening with me. Now, when I say with me, I'm talking about with my higher self, with my soul, because I'm sitting there drinking the coffee and I'm observing, listening to, kind of being eavesdropping on this conversation. And so it began as me listening, and then me taking dictation, and then me getting inquisitive and actually asking the questions. So what you're about to hear is a conversation between V, which is me, and Source. And so I'm just going to read it to you. And the first question that I asked this day was, how can we know you better and hear you more? Source says, simple. Know yourself better. Believe the words you were created in my image. There are no truer words. I've never shorted you when it's come to you being like me, period. V, by knowing me, I know you. Source, yes, but it's not as easy as you may think. To know you means deep work, and by deep, I mean conscious work. A work of sorts that requires presence. You see, most people run through life from task to task, trauma to trauma, never really processing any of it. You use the saying on autopilot. This is not living. This is survival. Back in the day, as you like to say, survival was the main goal. Humans have evolved as such that survival is a byproduct of being present. Source goes on to say, survival is way more than a roof over your head and food in your belly. Survival includes mental stability, spiritual awareness, and physical wellness. V, when you say evolved, what exactly do you mean? Source, evolved in the sense that you developed a soul. You took on a spark of me, and together we became one. V, whoa, hold on. This makes my head hurt to try to figure that out. Source, why are you trying to figure it out? Why can't you simply hear the words and ask more questions from a place of wonderment? This should not hurt you. V, okay, by hurt, I mean, well, what do I mean? Source, I don't know. You tell me. V, I guess I'm trying to figure out, or rather want to understand, how we got a soul. The soul fascinates me. Source, as it should. It is your greatest asset and your most beautiful attribute. Wouldn't you agree, V? V, of course, for sure. Source. So maybe you'd like to know about it more intimately. But I would ask you, why? V. I love getting to know myself, all of myself, so that I can use all of me to help the collective. Source. Well, that's beautiful indeed. You see, when human life, was created, there were prototypes. Not that I didn't know how, but so that each stage there would be perfection. Every living thing has my touch, my spark, a piece of me. But there are stages to it. Evolution. Take an amoeba, for example. It has a very distinct purpose: to consume, which adds to the whole. But it doesn't have the fully developed soul or self that humans do. Far from it. But it has what it needs for its purpose. V. So are you saying we have what we need for our purpose? Source. Absolutely. Now that the amoeba doesn't have conditioning or all the stuff that humans have, so it just lives its purpose. But without the amoeba, there'd be no balance. V. I'm chuckling because all I can think is what came first, the chicken or the egg. I guess I wonder what started it all. And I mean all, capital letters. Source. Well, that is a big old question. Shortest answer is me. Do you really want to ask how rather than what? V. Oh, for sure. How did it all start? Source. Once upon a time. V. I love that you have a sense of humor. Source. Well, of course I do. I am a reflection of you and you of me. What you know in you, you know in me. You're fond of the saying, meet you where you're at? Well, that's true, and that's what I do. I meet you and everyone else where they're at. Okay, back to how it all began. Close your eyes, and what do you see? V. Nothing. Just black. Nothing. Dark. Source. That's something, isn't it? V. Yeah, okay, what's your point? Source. In the dark, in the seemingly nothingness, there is always something. It has yet to be discovered. For human reference, I'll use billions and billions of years ago. All there was darkness, meaning no light. There was a vast sense of emptiness. The wind blew in and parted the darkness to reveal sparks of light, the stars. And then there was light, so to speak. I know you want to know where the wind came from, yes? V, you know me. Source, the wind was a result of the movement of consciousness, a creation of will. Be sure, humans over time explain it with science, and I have given them the ability to discover the scientific proof. Humans need to feel validated and comfortable. But what I just explained to you is the key to all creation. You were willed into being. You see, you are me. So on your own level of being you are willing everything that you have created. You are willing everything that you have created. Take a breath. That's a huge piece of information, I know. V. Holy cow. It makes so much sense to me. Add in the human condition and all that is involved in that, and we are a product of our own will. OMG. Source. Now you're getting it. V. What do I do with all of this? Source. I'm having a hard time reading my handwriting. What you want, that's the point of life. So I ask, what do I do with all of this? Source says, whatever you want, that's the point of life. V. Good God, I need to process all of this. Source. Don't process. Feel it. Don't think it. Put it in your heart and let it grow. Nurture it until it sprouts. Then transplant it into your world. Your world. I think you've had enough for this morning. V. I agree. Let's do it at another time. Source. It's a date. Okay, source says, now go drink your coffee. End transmission. Now, I want to say something here. What seems very simplistic, almost elementary, if you will, is meant to be that way. I am a very simplistic person. I'm not going to get a transmission that's very scientific and really, into physics or any of that stuff. It's just not who I am. Source said in this transmission, meet you where you're at. Here's what I want to offer to you. And this is something that came to me after this transmission. And I've said this all along, and this was validation and confirmation for me. No two people are going to hear the same thing. This is not going to impact each one of you the same way. You're going to hear a piece. It's going to get something spinning in you. It's going to get your wheels turning. And you're just going to say, and then that's the part where I would encourage you to go talk to Spirit about it. You heard it. It triggered you. Go ask your own questions. Get your notebooks and write your answers. I promise you it's that simple. It really, really is. Now, I want to tell you part of why I'm doing this is getting back to basics. I'm taking people on a very deep spiritual journey, deep into themselves. And to me, there's no better place than the soul. If you are wondering, what are the challenges that my soul signed up for? Why do I keep reoccurring the same situations? Why do I keep meeting the same people? Why is life the same? Why am I stuck? What is it that I came here to do? All of these answers are in your soul. And with a past life reading, regression type service, I'm taking you right to the place where it all began and it all feeds this life. If you are someone who is a little bit interested in more than just the entertainment value of past life readings, this is probably really going to be a good experience for you. And I mean, if you're totally into the entertainment value of it, that's cool too. But I also want to tell you that while it's past life stuff, everything is relevant. Everything is tied together. You can't look at a past life, look at this current life, look at the relationships you're in, and not see how it's all tied and it's all connected. That's my job as the seer. And so if this interests you, please use the link and book your reading. There's never been a time when you've needed more awareness, more direction, and more connection. As we grow individually, we strengthen the collective. So I look forward to looking at life with you.